Welcome to the GenAI Africa podcast, where we decode the future, spotlight African innovations, and amplify youth voices that are shaping Africa's digital future. I'm your host, Bungegile Filana, and today I'm not allowed, of course, explorers that I'm with Tulani, and today we are joined by a very special guest from Kenya, a visionary leader, the CEO of the African Summit on Entrepreneurship and Innovation. You know that in this podcast, we don't just bring you, they could bring you the best of the best. As I said, that I'm Tulani, the host with the most. Hi, Tulani. Hi, Tulani.
Oh, hi. I was muted there. I was muted there. Sorry about that. Hello to the explorers out there. And also, hello, Calvin. Nice to have you in the show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tulani.
Yeah, Calvin, you are welcome. Like, we are so excited to have you in this podcast. Like, in every episode, we get an opportunity to meet with incredible minds that are redefining innovation landscape in Africa. So we are just so thrilled that you have managed to join us. Just tell us more about who's Calvin and like where do you come from? What inspired you to start African Summit on Entrepreneurship and Innovation? Just give us a journey because I know that you have a Senti last year, 2024 in Ghana. So can you take us through your journey and introduce yourself? Who is Calvin Joris?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bongi Kile and Fulani. My name is Calvin Jodisi. I'm the CEO and president of the Africa Summit on Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Basically, the platform gives a voice for young people to be able to learn and network on entrepreneurship. We've been able to host our conferences every year in different countries, and basically to be able to have a feel of different countries and the needs and what the different countries are doing when it comes to shaping the entrepreneurship ecosystem by enhancing the possibility of successful businesses and in those different countries as well. And so so what really inspired me to start Ascenti Africa is basically I realized that there was really no continuous platform where young people could have their voices, and the few platforms that were there actually were quite very expensive. The young people cannot be able to really have a seat on the table and be able to discuss some of the issues that affect them, and also just be able to contribute to the entrepreneurship ecosystem because we know that for any country to be able to move to the next level, we all have to come together and build the next unicorn companies across Africa, and so that's always been the desire for us to have this conversation more on the grassroots level, and be able to see more young people embrace entrepreneurship spirit. Yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing. I'm so excited about Ascent 2025 because I will be also in Rwanda attending the African Summit on Innovation and on Entrepreneurship and Innovation. So this year you are hosting the summit in Rwanda and
Yes.
under the theme Innovation for Sustainability, Reimagining Entrepreneurship. Like why this theme and like why Rwanda?
Yeah, so number one, I mean, Rwanda's really positioned itself as, one of the best country where, has like the best the best index in the goodwill of doing business. So basically, Rwanda, you can actually register business within 1 day or even less than. And so with that, it gives you an opportunity to be able to the country be able to position itself to actually invite investors, and investors are actually able to get some incentive and support to be able to do their business. And also Rwanda has positioned itself as one of the safest countries in the world in terms of personal security, business security, and so that makes it really really goodwill. And so the reason why we have a conference this year in Rwanda is just to be able to learn more about the landscape, but then also to connect with different entrepreneurs in Rwanda, and also just be able to listen to their stories, and also just position Rwanda as the next investment destination, because we've seen some of our delegates actually do go to a country and they end up even starting businesses there, or they even end up investing in those different countries. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's so powerful. And yeah, guys, you're going to meet us in Rwanda on the 13th to 15 November. Yes. So you don't want to miss. Can you just tell us, like, what are your focus area in terms of this summit? Because I know that everyone now is talking about AI in Africa and responsible use of AI, and everyone is just talking about how AI is reshaping all industries in Africa. So, what is like your focus in terms of artificial intelligence at Ascent 2025?
Thank you very much. Yeah, so one of the things that we focus strongly also in Ascent is enhancing the technology, and not only enhancing the technology, but even talking about new trends. Technological new trends. So new trends means that there's need for us to discuss things like artificial intelligence, and how that is actually helping support businesses. For example, young people who are actually doing businesses, startups, and all that. There's so many artificial intelligence tools that really helps enhance their business, from project management tools to to email management, email marketing, to the quite various, to copywriting and all those kind of stuff. And so for the conference this year, one of our focus area definitely is artificial intelligence. We focus on edutech as well, so education and technology, agribusiness, and health innovation as well, and basically looking holistically how those sectors actually use new trends in technology, and new trends. When we talk about new trends in technology, we're talking about artificial intelligence, we're talking about virtual reality, and all that. So that's what we're looking forward to, especially even for Saint.
If
Wow, I was inspired. Yes, Tulani.
If I might come in, just have a question for you, Calvin. So I'm an entrepreneur, right? And I want to join in on one of the programs that you offer. What can you walk me through in the different types of stages that I would be placed under? Let's say I'm a startup. I haven't raised funding. I'm looking for Series A funding, and I'm just looking for any type of funding or any type of incubation or anything for me to grow. So, can you walk me through on what I have to do to be part of like your ecosystem?
Yeah. So thank you very much. So number one, we have a very thriving network that we actually maintain through our WhatsApp group. So we have a WhatsApp group that has pretty much over 300 young people cutting across different African countries. So number one, you can be able to join our WhatsApp group, and through our WhatsApp group, you'll be able to definitely follow up on some of the conversations, or also some of the opportunities that we're able to share. But apart from that, we actually, directly can be able to link you up with, potential investors and partners, and that is basically done through, if you email us, let's say, info@ascenti.org, and we can actually be able to direct you to the right people, especially if for example, if you're looking for mentorship, or if you're looking for even potential funding as well. And I mean, definitely, over the years, one of the challenges that we've had is, early, we really still don't have a lot of funds that support, idea kind of investment, because you'll always find that most people will reach out and say, "Hey, Calvin, I have this idea, I want to do this and this, but I don't have the money." And so we always try and say, like, are you able to, pretty much invest your own money and probably build a prototype, and let's see your idea at work before now we approach somebody else to say, okay, can you be able now to even put in your investment money? Because people always want to see, what kind of efforts have you made, for them to also trust you with their money, as well, because you have to be passionate about, the business that you're doing, in a way that these people will be able to get their return on investment. And so, yeah, and so those are some of the ways that you can actually be able to, reach out to us, and have kind of like a step-to-step guide in whatever area of entrepreneurship that you're in. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so basically, it's the exposure to the network, and I have to have at least a minimum viable product to share with you and say,
Exactly.
I have something. Can you please help me with this? I'm trying to take it to another level. Okay,
Exactly.
that sounds great, especially with the fact that you're exposing me to a great network. I mean, an African network, because I feel like Africans, we work in silos. This is why we
Yeah.
even have this podcast to connect with Africans. So it's a great thing that we get to plug into other communities like that. So how would then, as an entrepreneur who is a startup and is working in on AI, would I have an advantage over people who are not necessarily in that field, or do I have an advantage for someone who's like in the AI space, or just in like in the software and cloud and so on technological space?
Yeah. So, I mean, as you've seen, there's a lot of investment in AI, and specifically, if you follow the conversation that's happening across the world, you've seen people like Strive Mazio, for example, building some of the biggest data center
Yeah,
in Africa, so that they can actually be able to enhance AI,
yeah,
and so, uh, the next generation, or the next people who are actually going to reap big, and also going to build the next unicorn companies, are people actually able to develop, super intelligent, super intelligent, capabilities,
yeah,
and that is, building AIs that can actually be able to, artificial intelligence that can actually be able even to interact locally, because we still don't have a lot of African-based AI tools. We
yeah,
need AI tools that can be able to, convert, can be able to translate, different languages and all that. So
yeah.
I just need to write a book in, let's say, for example, if I'm just going to do my book, let's say, even in my local, let's say in Swahili, for example,
Yeah.
I just need a tool that can be able to translate for me this book into even 200 languages, and be able to help me publish it. And I can just be able to do that within no time and start selling it on Amazon,
Yeah.
and I don't have to really, be able to do so building such kind of products would actually be able to make people, double their income. And that's the reason why even the next billionaires are going to be, AI, developers. I mean, and we've already seen companies like Nvidia, doing that already. I mean, they're already billion-dollar companies already,
Yeah. It's a
and
trillion.
so yeah, and so
Yeah.
there's quite a lot of opportunities, when it comes to, AI, and especially AI that is more Afro. I mean, I call it
Afro
Afro AI.
Afro
So
AI. Oh,
we
that's so
need we
cool. Yeah.
need more of an Afro AI's tools and capabilities as well.
Just to that, Calvin. Because I get the sense that this is not just you. Whenever we have a conversation about AI, and people always lead to language translation and how we can conserve our language, and so on. Do you think that's important? Do you think those are the real problems that Africa has right now and that AI can address?
Not really, actually. So language is just one thing that I've mentioned, but it depends on the kind of AI that we're talking about. So one of the, we have different form of AI, but one of the AI that I'm, passionate about is, cognitive AI.
Yeah.
And when you look at the cognitive AI, the capabilities of it for the future is just is literally cognitive AI is the future, because you're going to build stuff that can actually be able to outsmart human being, and that's the reason why when you hear people discussing about AI and saying that AI is a threat,
Yeah.
and it's simply because of cognitive AI, because people are going to be able to build like super intelligent super intelligent programs, computers that to actually would outsmart the normal human being. Like even if you look at the revolution that we've had, the evolution that we've had in terms of robots, probably since the last.
Hello, Kelvin.
What robot would be able to do. Robot would actually be able to compete with human being in almost everything, and so because they will have very strong cognitive behavior, like they will be able to reason like human being, they'll be able to do a lot of things like human being. Like you'll have a robot that can actually just babysit your child, that you're not even worried of them, they'll be more of human being, like they'll just babysit your child like human, literally human being. But yeah, but again, also looking at that, maybe like what's the dangers and all that. So yeah, so I think not language is not only the problem, but again, we shouldn't forget to actually be able to protect our our tradition, our culture, which is also quite very rich, our language, which is very very rich, and that can be very protected if we're able to use AI. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Now, it's actually, what you're saying is exciting and kind of scary at the same time, because I was just watching a demo of a humanoid call from Neo AI. So basically, what these guys built, they built like a robot that can essentially do something like that, but um, and the funny thing is it's not AI. It's not AI. It doesn't have AI. It has a bit of AI. You connect through a virtual headset and you just make it work. It's creative. It's controlled by people. You should watch it. But anyway, I just wanted to get into the cognitive AI. So what do you mean when you say cognitive AI? Is it more like sentient AI, self-aware AI? Is it is it something that falls under that umbrella?
Yeah, so definitely. Cognitive AI is basically just an artificial intelligence that just mimic human thinking in terms of decision making. So that's why I said that it's the threat for the future. It's because if you can have something that's going to mimic to something that are going to think like human being, something that are going to make decision in like human being, then then it's something that would actually worry the future, because now think about future, let's say even future military, or even future the kind of people going to the battlefield. It's going to be totally different.
Yeah.
So when you talk about cognitive AI, we literally means that it's AI that literally mimic or understand human behavior, and those include, and a straight example is definitely self-driving cars. We already have self-driving cars, and some of the self-driving cars are really, really accurate, and we've seen like companies like Oraimo and all that having self-driving cars that are really, really accurate, and literally also very accident free. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tulan, I can't wait to have a babysitter as a robot.
I know. Yeah, that one. I'm not so sure about that. Nah. The thing is, I watch a lot of sci-fi movies,
But
so
it sounds so scary.
it is.
If you think about it.
Yeah, it's also so scary, because what about if the robot, if the robot get annoyed and just decide to
Yeah,
do something to the baby as well.
yeah,
So you never know.
yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Like now, Calvin, if I can also just come up like in this conversation, like what's your take about responsible use of AI and inclusion and digital inclusion when it comes to AI? Since you also spoke about the issue of languages, that when it comes to languages, if we can have everything interpreted in our own languages, so it means that we are indeed building a information society where we are not leaving anyone behind, because that's the future that we're talking about. We want AI that is empowering everyone. So what's your take when it comes to responsible use of AI?
Yeah, yeah. As before I touch on that, I mean, one of the things that that I like, and I think we've seen that going on globally, is that every countries are now starting to realize the importance of artificial intelligence, and because they realize that, then every country is now starting to come up with policies, artificial intelligence policies, and so because they're coming up with policies, then they would actually be able to to know, to be able to, I'm not like really saying regulate, but give it more like responsible AI, AI capability, and the farther people can actually be able to go. So yeah, so I think it's the good part is that countries are already embracing it. There's a time that we were not embracing it. There's a time that people are now wondering what the hell is this. But right now, countries are embracing it. All our, like for example in Kenya, I think we already have a conversation around artificial intelligence, and we already starting discussing in terms of the law, regulations, and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I also saw that in Nigeria they also have now finalized their strategy. In South Africa, we are busy developing it. In Namibia, they have their strategy, and I think in Lesotho, yes. So
Yeah.
Africa is indeed working on policy and regulating the environment of AI.
Yeah, so yeah, so because again, you don't want something to give you to come by surprise, and the good part is that today the world moves very fast, so nobody should be left behind, because uh today, like I think even just as we talk, maybe even just this week, you'll find that so many new products, like for example AI developed products. There's so many new products. Everybody's waking up very creative. Want to make the next big thing, want to leave a mark, and all those kind of stuff. So yeah, so I think there's need to be a bit more of regulation and guidance and all this kind of stuff to be able to even protect the humanity as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you have just joined us now, you're still listening to the Gen AI Africa podcast, where the future speaks African. And whether you're a student or you are just an innovator or an entrepreneur, we are still with Calvin Jordis, who is the CEO of the African Summit on Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Calvin, just and more information about the summit. Can you tell us? I saw that there's going to be pitch awards. Can you tell us about that? And like, if people still want to register, is the registration still open, or what, for the summit and also for the pitch awards?
Yes, yeah. Thank you very much. Yes. I mean, the summit is still open, and we welcome individuals to be able to join us and even register for the summit. And And so we're going to be having pitch. We usually have pitch awards. So basically, it's a pitch competition whereby you actually able to pitch your idea and be able to get feedback and also be able to get connect you to the mentors as well, and just to help you with your business and all that. So we're going to be having around 10 entrepreneurs cutting across different countries that are going to be able to pitch their ideas during the conference. Yeah, and we've also partnered with different organizations that are going to support them in terms of mentorship and all that. So it's a really good opportunity for people to be able to take advantage of of the conference, to actually be able to connect with partners and connect also with potential investors as well. And with that, I think we'll be able to hear some very good testimonies as well.
Wow, I'm looking forward to also attending the summit. It's like you are working within the innovation ecosystem. So, like, what are the challenges that many innovators? I know that the summit connects innovators from different countries, African countries. So, or it helps a lot when it comes to cross-border collaboration. It enforces that. But I just want to ask for you to help us in understanding the future of innovation within the African continent, and also the importance, the role of young people in the space of innovation. Why it's important for young people to be part or to lead the innovation ecosystem.
So one of the things that we all know is that this generation is very smart. Like, we have like the smartest generation. We have also generation that actually has like some of the highest IQ in history as well. And so meaning that the young people can actually be able to innovate and create innovate in their own various spaces, and we live in a time whereby innovation does not respect boundaries. Like, you can be in you can be in South Africa and actually innovate something that's going to be used globally. You can be in Nigeria and innovate something that's going to be able to be used globally. And so it's upon us to always dream and make sure that our dreams come true, and also be able to know the possibility of be able to move your product from the next level. And so I think it's upon us to be able to embrace innovation, and also the old folks to be able to support young people, because sometimes we have families where children are very innovative, but their parents are not supporting them. Their children has shown some kind of interest in things like, let's say, artificial intelligence, but they have probably parents that don't really understand that, and so with that, it really limits their creativity, because the best time is always to have someone who can actually hold your hand and be able to support you realize your dreams. So I think it's upon young people to get out there and be creative and make sure that they build something that would actually not only help their country, but actually have an impact globally.
Absolutely. Calvin, thank you so much for joining us for this very important conversation. We're inspired by the work that you do, and we just want to wish you well in terms of your summit, and keep on pushing. Tulan, are you still with us, or?
Yes, I am. I'm just listening in. I'm just listening again to Kevin's remarkable vision of just how he wants to create one Africa, because it just speaks to that. Everything that he is speaking on is just like we should all be connected, because really the way we're building in silos, it's not really playing to our advantage.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's more opportunity, and there's also much need to learn from different countries, because I think sometimes we, especially our own countries in Africa, with all the border and all that kind of stuff, I think it's always just good to know what's going on in different countries as well, and that'll give you an idea of you're not the best. There's still a lot of people actually doing some amazing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. To our explorers, please don't forget to subscribe and also like this episode. Until next time, stay curious. I will always say stay curious because we are coming up with more with inspiring guests and also young people, because this platform is for young people. We're amplifying young voices. Until next time, stay curious. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.